on Saturday?
Yeah, I think it's been, obviously today's the first day we have everybody back in from international break, minus one player, Zary Valdez. So it's exciting to get everybody finally back. The week before and this week, still been able to get good work in. A lot of that early part of the week was focusing on ourselves and trying to improve certain areas that we want to continue to refine as we resume play. And now obviously between starting yesterday through today and through the end of the week, all focus will be on Cincinnati, who again a really well coached team, a battle tested team through years. A team that's got great balance in the attack and also in the back. And so I think we expect a really competitive game between two good teams.
Thanks, Coach. We'll start with Jacob and come down the line. Go, Jacob.
I guess what have been maybe, the biggest areas of emphasis in training over the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think reinforcing a lot of the things that we do well. We want to be decisive in the final third in the penalty box, continue to try to create high-quality goal-scoring chances. We want to be compact and, knowing, having clarity on when we want to build pressure together, and then obviously being really tough to play against in our own penalty box. So for us, it's about just being, again, refining the things that have made us a good team, and I think that, if we continue to do well, will continue to keep us as a good team.
Last year this time, you were coming out of another international break and you won, your first 2 matches here with Nashville C, and then you went on to get a point against FC Cincinnati. Pretty strong start out of that break. I guess, what kind of, will enable you to do maybe a similar thing this time around?
I mean, for us, I think we're just preparing for what Cincinnati's going to pose. It's a team, again, like I said, has made some acquisitions kind of through the summer window that, we haven't seen yet live. So doing the best we can to prepare using our process that we do. And, I think there's a level of excitement in the group to get restarted here, I'm sure for everybody. And so, again, I think that's what we look to carry into this match.
Yeah.
Just looking back at some of the recent performances where maybe the result didn't quite reflect the actual performance on the field, what are some kind of key takeaways that you've had from those matches, and then maybe, what are some things you liked from how you guys played and some areas that you also want to kind of correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big takeaway from a lot of those matches is as you get down to this part of the season, like every phase matters, whether it's defending set pieces, attacking set pieces, being able to execute high pressing, whatever it is, everything gets ramped up a little bit. And for us, that's why the focus is on, kind of sticking to the way we do things, the way we prepare, the way we train, and being as good at it as we can. That's what we really want to do, is continue to get on the rise here and improve as the sort of last 5 regular season games go. And I think for us, it's again, being decisive in all of our phases is when we're at our best.
And then, obviously, I know you're familiar with Pat, just from the Union, but it feels like Cincinnati, I don't have the number in front of me, but their record in 1-goal games is kind of just ridiculous, and they're able to just make life really difficult for opponents. What do you think they do well that kind of allows them to hold on to leads and just make things hard?
Yeah, I mean, I think first you mentioned Pat, like his leadership, his experience. He's a winner, right? And he's been a winner in his career. The staff that he has are winners, and he's created a winning team there. So I think when you look at that, like that's a culture. There's a demand, there's an expectation from that, and so it's not a surprise that this is a team that's made long runs in I would say has not only do they make long runs in playoffs, but like seasons. They've stacked seasons together, and I'm sure that experience from them and the leadership that Pat has will transcend through into their last 5 games here. But they do a really good job of having a really balanced team. You can see very clearly the profiles that they look for, and they're able to get and how they want to play, and they're very consistent in what they do.
Was it good to have like a little break in between? Some of the guys get a little rested up?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point of the season, there's always, having a break. Unfortunately, we're in a position where we're a club that wants to support guys with national teams, and we search those out, and we're proud of the players that left to go represent their country. That's something that's great and something that we pride ourselves on here, whether it's from youth players like Chris Applewhite, and I mean, the U20 isn't really, I guess it's considered a youth team, but it's a lot of pro soccer players, same with Chris. But whether it's from 19-year-old going to camps all the way up to players playing World Cup qualifying. You know, so yes, it's good the guys get rest. Yes, they have that opportunity, but there does become a point where you're itching to get back and get the group working, and I think, you know, we found that right balance.
We'll go to John Glennon on Zoom.
Hey, BJ, I know you guys are obviously focused in on each game here, but wondering if you could kind of indulge me in a potential look down the line here a little bit. Obviously, you guys are in contention for the 3 titles here this season, and just interested in your thoughts on how significant a step it would be for this franchise in general to be the first major pro sports team, you know, potentially in Nashville to win a title.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something that we hide from, John. You know, of course, what our week and the way we prepare is that we're prepared for Cincinnati. But that all of our preparation for the whole season is to match sort of the ambition of this club, which is to pursue trophies. That's the business that we are in. And, you know, this season, our opportunity is to potentially win 3 trophies. That's what we can play for. And that's what we want to do. And, you know, this club is ambitious, but at the same time, our ambition has been rooted in being uniquely Nashville. And what I would say is being a team that represents what Nashville is, and not only Nashville, but the entire state of Tennessee. And I think, you know, it's a goal that our guys have set out for. It's aligned with the entire club. And, you know, I know that we're going to pursue it as aggressively as we can.
Sure, maybe just a similar type follow, maybe for soccer in general, and kind of a city where soccer roots don't necessarily run deep. Same sort of question. What would kind of claiming a title mean for the growth, do you think, of soccer here?
Yeah, I mean, you know, for us, we're really proud of the fan support that we get here in Nashville, not only just at the games when you can see Geodis Park becoming lit up with excitement, but even just around the town. The amount of stickers and license plates and logos I see in the bars. You can feel that fan support and the community support. And I think, you know, I think the first part is if you get that trophy, there's that validation to the existing fan base. And then, of course, you know, part of our responsibilities in this city, playing soccer, being involved in soccer, is to grow the game as much as we can. And, you know, if there's some fans that are waiting for us to win to jump on as our support, then we'll welcome them with open arms.
We'll go to Valera.
Hey, BJ, just a couple of moves happening this week. Jordan Knight was just signed to the first team, and then Matt Corcoran was recalled. Were these 2 moves made specifically with the Open Cup in mind, or was there any sort of reasoning behind them?
I would no. These are more, I would say, continue to be long-term moves for the club. Again, 2 younger players. You know, we thought it was important for Matt to continue to get game minutes. We've got a really good midfield. So it was just an opportunity for him to continue to get game minutes, and before he was to leave for the U20 camp. And then Jordan Knight is just another player that we're super proud and you know, to be able to sign to the first team, a guy who has put in a lot of time and really good performances down in Huntsville. And once again, what I would say is you know, when we talk about doing what we say we're going to do moment, this is just another one of those moments, of course, this season that, you know, you have an opportunity down in Huntsville. That's a proving ground for our first team, and he's done a great job. He's been rewarded, and he's earned, you know, a first-team contract. And, you know, it highlights the club here, you know, whether it's Nashville, Huntsville, our academy, the alignment that we do, and you know, pushing those players that deserve it through that pathway.
And then just on Cincinnati, last time you guys played them was in March, so and there was a late minute sort of penalty kick that decided the game that was otherwise even. Do you draw anything from that game, or has it just been too long for you to even get anything to help you with this game?
No, I think there's opportunities to learn from when you play the same opponent. So that's certainly part of what we would do is review that game again, leading into this preparation. But at the same time, you know, they're a different team than when they played us, and we're a different team when they played, whether that's through personnel or just evolving and growing as teams. But it's still definitely, I would say, definitely part of that preparation plan.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Thanks, guys.